G'day viewers, my name's Graham Stevenson and I'd like to invite you to come on a journey of creativity and learning and adventure through the series Colour in Your Life. There's an artist in every family throughout the world, and lots of times there's an artist deep down inside all of us as well. So grab your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your aunties, uncles and mums and dads and come and see how some of the best artists in Australia do what they do. Well, good day viewers, and welcome to a really unusual show today. We're with one of our team members, Mealie Batchelor, and Mealie is a really talented woman in many aspects of the world of art, and she does a number of things all over the country apart from her painting and her welding and her sculpture. She also is a quite well-known chalk artist across the country as well. And we've actually come into her garage. Her studio is not big enough for this. We've come into her garage today to actually talk to her about chalk art, what it does, what its influence is as far as street art is concerned, because it's really a major player in a lot of places these days when it comes to getting the public involved in art. So, yeah, tell me a little bit more about it anyway.
Basically started chalk art just for practice on the pavement and just sort of started getting work for festivals and councils and doing workshops with kids. And yeah, the 3D chalk art is obviously the next step that I've taken it to. And so this is probably my third three-dimensional one. Yeah. So the process involved in creating these ones is a little bit different because of the perspective and the length. This one was a little bit hard because I needed to do it on a canvas. Yeah. So because it will be rolled up and used around the country for promoting The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. It's an American TV show. The fanaticism about zombies is like, yeah, okay, I don't get it, but it is fascinating and it's become a really popular show, hasn't it?
It has, and yeah, it's for Fox International, which The Walking Dead is an American TV series, and it is going to be released in Australia on Foxtel for, I think, for the third season or something. And yeah, it's basically a promotional piece. So they want to have use it as interactive and have people sort of standing at the front with zombies
doing this stuff.
It's basically a photo opportunity.
There you go.
Artwork.
So the advantage about this is that it'll be on Foxtel, and we're now on Foxtel as well on Channel 183 Aurora TV, so you can just sort of flip back and forth from this to The Walking Dead. But when we sort of talk about chalk, obviously there'd be a lot of concern in regards to the toxicity of some of these things. How does that go when you're actually on footpaths and doing stuff like that? It is just chalk, isn't it?
It's just chalk. It's very safe. I guess that's why I've done a lot of workshops with kids, because it's so popular, especially overseas, and there's obviously there's artists in the US and in Europe who do those massive big ones that fill the roads. Yeah. And there's people sort of jumping all over. There's
like a whale coming out, or somebody's falling into the abyss.
Yeah,
it's quite incredible, isn't it?
That's right. But yeah, chalk art. This one I'm actually doing a chalk art base. Yeah. Painting with chalk. I grind it up.
Oh, okay.
And then make a slurry. Yeah. It's just chalk.
It's just chalk, and you just mix it with water, do you?
Ground up, mix with water, and it just becomes an easy way to block in really large shapes. Yeah. I won't do too much there, and it dries quickly. Yeah. And then obviously I don't have to fill in everything with the oil pastels. I've worked in competitions, the Urban Chalk Art Festival they have in Sydney in Parramatta, and that is basically you get a 3.5 metre by 3.5 metre and work over 4 days to create the best piece you can. And there's about 40 different artists, and then it's judged, and there's obviously prizes for the best and people's choice.
And one of our Australians, is it Jenny McCracken?
Jenny McCracken has won basically nearly every year because she's so good.
But she's like a world champion too at it, isn't she?
She went last year with Andy and the team over to Europe and entered competitions
there's like,
in Europe.
They travel all over the world doing chalk art competitions, it's amazing.
Sometimes I'm working on the pavement and you have to do it within a day. Some can be quite large, but you know, you may not get the detail. And then every surface is different. I've worked on roads, in tunnels. It can be very dirty and very hard on the body. But I really do enjoy the interaction with people.
It's amazing. So well, let's see you do a little bit of what you're doing.
So these oil pastels are obviously very oily, and I just found that over the top of the chalk, you can really start to see that it goes into the canvas, but it has a nice texture anyway, and it doesn't leave. Some of the chalks are harder, and they leave a really grainy sort of texture to it.
So you're not worried about your fingers getting...
I get really worn down fingers. It's not so bad on the canvas, but sometimes I've made them bleed.
Oh God.
When you're working on roads and for days, it's a really hard, tough job.
I've seen you actually do a few of these things at various festivals, and
you've helped me with one.
Yes,
I helped you.
It was the difficult part was I actually had to try and get up after I was down. And then I don't know how you do this on a daily basis, but
I do yoga. So
there you go. All right. Well, how about you show us how to at least do that hand there with these various colours that you've got?
Sure. I found a little bit of good reference. Obviously, I just really want these hands to be very animated. So yeah, no colour in these reference pictures, but
a lot of what you do is imagination as well. It's sort of, you've obviously taken that hand and placed it on that character there. So you've really done a lot of research and put them all together.
I think the one good part about this canvas is that it needs to look dirty. So it doesn't have to be overly, sometimes I have to be very clean, especially when you're doing chalk and a lot of white, and you just have to be really careful of what you're drawing. It's with lots of colour. But with this one, I've been walking on it, and I think it's kind of adding to, you know, the dirtiness and the gunginess of it.
Beautiful. Here's me always telling people, keep your hands off your work.
I know, it's messy.
And you're diving in there.
These are very similar to the soft pastels. Obviously not as dusty. You've got to be careful not to make his hands too lifelike because he's dead.
I should be using more greys and pinks and purples and...
Yeah. So I started doing chalk art when I was living in Brisbane and doing for practice to try and just get as a better artist. But things are not, you know, it's not a permanent, and I sort of like that. The idea of that medium, so basically it gets washed away, that it won't be there tomorrow.
It looks like you've got a lot of work to do.
I have.
And I think that our best bet would be to duck away and come back in about a week when you've done a little bit more. I'd say by the time that you get to finishing this off, you will be a zombie.
I will.
Sitting, crawling around on the garage floor. But it's great. Shows Mill's dedication to the whole thing. But yeah, we're going to go. We're going to let her work on this for at least a week, and then she's going to take some shots as we go along. And I'm going to come back and work on one of these other characters, and then see how this thing turns out. But we'll see you soon. So you're going to work on this character here.
I will.
So lots of red, or supposedly red, as I can see from the drawing anyway.
Yeah, look, I've used an awful lot of black in this, and I do need to, once I've sort of finished getting everything in, I'm going to go over it again and really put some darker shading so that these guys will, you know, the further back they go will be darker into
Sure.
probably more red and, you know, more blood.
Well, let's get stuck into that and see how we go then.
Okay. So I'm using all sorts of different oil pastels. I've been getting the larger ones and they're a lot softer and more oily, but they do dry fairly well. Like, you know, this is, you can walk on this basically and it's not going to rub off like the chalk does.
And what brand are these?
I've been using some that are just basically the gallery ones.
All right, well, let's see. We put some colours down.
Yes. So I really want to just sort of start with the lighter parts.
Yeah.
Thinking, you know, I have a light source, and I will be darkening off a lot of the faces sort of into the darkness there. If I was working on portraits or whatever, they would be a lot cleaner. Obviously, with this, the client wants it very dirty looking. These guys have been living in a prison and eating flesh.
Beautiful.
Lovely. Usually I'm working with a lot more colourful pictures.
Yeah.
I do a lot of ocean reef pictures. I've done Greek buildings, 3D.
Yeah, which are fascinating. I've seen those. We'll screen those up as we're going along, but just amazing what you do. So I think that, I mean, because this is a lot of fun, and obviously there's a lot of interaction than you'd normally have in, say, a gallery situation. So what, like, if kids wanted to know how to do this, where would they go?
There are usually a lot of workshops over school holidays, and obviously, you know, they're flying me up to Gladstone, and I've done that twice. I've been out to Goondiwindi. You know, a lot of the schools like to have this sort of shown to them, so they have Arts Week or whatever. So it's usually through a school, or, you know, there are fun family days. The Gold Coast put on Art in the Park, and I was there for showing kids, you know, how to do this, and you know, usually it's just fun because everybody joins in, and there's, you know, it's just a big mess of chalk, but then again it just washes off the next day. And this one is, yeah, timeless. Obviously they'll keep it and keep using it, so sometimes it's more beneficial for the clients to basically pay for the canvas and get it done that way.
Okay. So it's one of those things that people can watch as it develops, which is very similar to the show, of course, and obviously there's a fascination with watching people create, but it's a lot of fun when, particularly for the kids, when they're all standing around and all of this is coming together. It's just amazing.
Oh, it's fun. It's all ages, you know, it's fascinating to watch and see something get created and just basically jump off the pavement. Chalk art boards for weddings and sandwich boards for different cafes. Yeah, it's just been, you know, I think it's a really great way to sort of, you know, do my art and share it with other people as well.
It's wonderful.
I like to try lots of different things. I really enjoy doing the chalk art, but it is really hard on your body, getting older, but it's, you know, because you're constantly on the concrete, you're, you know, obviously you lose your fingerprints, it's hard on the bones and you get dirty, but it's a really exciting medium, and I do enjoy it. I just, I like to paint as well and sculpt, and just keep it different, you know. I'm always trying to do different things. I'm teaching now at Kingscliff. I do kids classes and adults classes once a week.
But you've got, I mean, you really have mastered a lot of different disciplines. I mean, you're really good on computers as well.
Yes.
You're exceptionally good on that. So this all helps to round everything out for you.
It does. Most of my work I do on the computer first to get the approval from the clients so they can see what I'm going to do. There's a lot of Photoshop work, which I really enjoy. And I do a lot of networking as well on Facebook and Instagram and through my own website. Yeah, so
But it's a real balance of a lot of things. Obviously, being a successful artist, it's just not one thing. There's many things involved in, you know, literally promoting yourself as a creative person.
yeah.
you have to keep on top of it all and get yourself out there. So I think trying lots of different things, and I'm meeting people all the time and lots of different artists. Obviously, Colouring Your Life is a really great way of networking as well.
It's the best.
It is.
Well, it's starting to look quite horrific there, Mills.
It is.
That was obviously the intention in the first place.
Yes.
So how long has it taken you to do this?
So far, it's probably added up to about 56 hours, and that's not including the time on the computer, where I was doing the design and back and forth with the client.
So that might be something, obviously, because you use all of these different mediums and technology to help you. We might go in and have a look at that computer and see how you've gone about putting the drawings together.
Yeah.
And then working out the perspective of putting something like this down on canvas. Okay, well, here we are in Mealie's studio, and we're going to look at how she puts all this together. It's really fascinating because you've got to change the perspective of the picture to suit the angle that you're actually going to draw it in on the canvas. And she's actually drawn out some little draft sketches that she's done for this, but in saying that, that's that dimension there that she's actually got to change into the other dimension. This one was, you said this character was too big?
Well, he was too far forward on the stairs,
yeah.
And I didn't have the main character in here, and there was a few things that I wanted to change about the top and everything.
So from the drawings, you've actually scanned those. Put them into Photoshop?
Into Photoshop.
Yeah.
Basically, I have the original sketch,
yeah,
which I have two sets of grids. So there's a black grid, which you can see there,
yeah.
And that's basically from your viewpoint. So then you put the original sketch into underneath that viewpoint, and then the red grid is actually the whole canvas.
Yeah.
So then I morph that black grid into the red grid by stretching it. So obviously these 2 points I pull out and bring it upwards.
Okay.
And then I end up with that elongated, that image has been brought out to that red grid.
Oh, okay. So if I have it this way, with the grid the way that Mealie's changed it, and then we turn it so that somebody's looking at it from, say, this point of view here, that way it actually fits in. The canvas, the perspective is not right, but the picture is.
That's right. And you have to think of it as, because this is going to be flat, it is pavement, you're not going to be up here unless you've got a viewing point platform. People are going to be viewing it from say about this point. So flat will actually visually bring that image back to about this size.
So there's a window for the spectator somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He's actually standing on that side. And then these ones here, you can actually see where Mealie photoshopped herself into the drawing before she'd actually even started. It's pretty amazing. Before she'd even started the picture itself, she's actually, this is all photoshopped, and she threw herself in there. Yeah.
So I took a photo of the blank canvas, all taped down, ready to go, and me there, obviously on a timer because I didn't have someone to take the photo, trying to get into different spots. I've done a few crazy spots. In Photoshop again, I've put my sketch onto there and, you know,
the way that it would work out. That's just amazing, isn't it?
So it just helps me get a better visual.
Yeah.
And with Photoshop, you know, this might not be that clear when I go and use this as reference, but I can actually take each character out and do exactly the same format on here with the grid, and I've got a better photo to work from, but it also, it gives the same distortion. Yeah. Exactly the same, if you're using the same grids.
But in saying, you've still got to have the artistic ability to fill the whole thing in and paint it and do what you need to do with it apart from that. But it's absolutely fascinating, and it just goes to show you the myriad amounts of different ways that you can actually utilise art and creativity with the right brain. It's just incredible, it just blows me away. So fascinating stuff, it really is.
So she gave me 3 possible backgrounds, and I'm looking at it going, that's not going to work. That was too low. And then I picked this one, obviously, because you're looking down the stairs. She sent me zombie shots. These have obviously been from the shooting of The Walking Dead. These are the actors, all dressed up, and she sent me all the green screen. So I get to choose the faces obviously.
Oh, God.
And he's in the middle right down there.
Oh,
and
my God.
you know, he's the main star, and obviously I put him there. There's some really grotesque main character we saw working on. And
Just everybody having a morning break.
yeah.
Arm, leg.
Really, really horrible.
Yeah, they do look pretty gruesome, don't they?
But great reference, so I
Yeah.
can actually print those out on a big sheet and take them for details.
Yeah.
So from that I just basically sketched that. So these are the action shots
Oh,
we're
that's
doing
great.
every hour. So
Oh,
I'll be
cool.
able to put them in
Excellent.
a little time lapse.
Excellent. That's really cool, so everything sort of starts to move around.
Yeah, and you'll see, you know, the filling in. You know, it's nice to have a record of the photographs that I've been taking because it gives me a record of, you know, how much time I've spent on it. Great for being able to quote for more for other jobs and to show people what I've done actually is pretty cool. It doesn't happen overnight,
No, it does not.
but it will happen.
Well, another way to look at art, I mean, it's just quite amazing and fascinating that obviously Mealie uses technology very, very well. I mean, Mealie works with Colour in Your Life doing a lot of our Photoshop and our graphic work, so she's really, really talented at it. But as you can see, and I'm quite sure a lot of people have probably seen these chalk art drawings in cities and fairs, and they really are fascinating. And a lot of it on the net these days, where it looks like sort of people are falling through,
That's
you know,
it.
bathroom floors and
Yeah.
stuff. It's just amazing. It really is.
Very interactive art.
Yeah, it's just really cool. And you know, once again, the kids obviously enjoy this type of stuff as well. And that's what it's about. It's about creativity and sort of passing on that legacy of education. And this is just part and parcel of that. But thanks, Annie.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you
a doll.
for being here.
Yeah, it's great. And yeah, we go from there. Just like to thank our sponsors as usual. Lots of good things, as we always say, but there really is. There's some amazing stuff going on. Our Facebook page, go in, like us on Facebook, and obviously you can see a lot of what Mealie's doing. We've got tons of stuff on the website. Come in there, colorinyourlife.com.au. So Mealie, your website is?
Mealieart.com.
Okay,
Yep.
and if anybody wants to contact you about doing chalk art, because you do it across the country anyway, don't you?
Yep. They can get on my website, and I have the public art profile page that I also have, you know, the gallery pages, which is with my paintings and stuff. But you can see all the public art that I've done, and there's contact numbers on there. And,
Cool.
And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram.
Excellent.
So yeah.
So it was
Okay.
marvellous, but great day, great information, and it's just been really tremendous. But we'll head off, but as always, remember,
Make sure you put some colour in your life.
we'll see you next time, guys. Bye for now. Bye.
Ooh.